Hi, welcome to another episode of Life Changers, and this is Mike. So on today's episode, we're going to talk about that everything's a lie that you've been told. Oh. At least that's what it seems like, huh? This day and age, every day you're learning something new, and you're like, huh. So you're telling me that was a lie? Hey, it's up to you to decide. That's why I'm here. I'm just here to speak what I'm learning, what I'm experiencing, and it's up to you to decide what you're going to experience. Because, hey, we're all creators, right? But on a different note, I want to talk about, different ways to manifest. Oh, I learned some new ways. I learned some new things. So I know in the past we talked about how to manifest and whatnot, but there's new ways I've come across and I've been practicing and experimenting with. And when we bring in our next guest, we're actually going to get them to do it with us live on air in the podcast studios for Life Changers Mike. And hey, my name is Mike. But I just want to say welcome back to everybody who's listening. I'm sorry I missed the last couple of weeks in recording. It's been busy and hectic, but I'm going to try my best to keep up. I got to record a bunch of episodes, but it takes some energy to record these episodes. Believe it or not, it takes some energy. I'm going to turn off one of these lights. Oh, there you go. Now it's nice in here. But, so here's some of the new ways to experience and understand how you can control your reality. So the first one is, instead of thinking about it how, you're going to sit there and manifest. Oh, it's manifested. I'm going to create. I'm going to chase my reality. So think of it this way. I'm sure everybody's watched the movies, The Avengers, and they all talk about quantum physics and quantum jumping, quantum leaping. Or if not, I'm sure you're familiar with the term of quantum physics and multiple infinite realities, and that we can quantum jump in between them. And you might not know you're doing it. You probably already are. Dun, dun, dun. So, instead of trying to create, in the sense of from nothing, I'm going to create this from nothing. Everything you possibly want, can need, already exists. Right? Just think of it that way. Think of it that everything already exists in a parallel universe. So are you going to go to that universe and get what already exists or not? So there's different ways to do that. Some people do it through meditation, where they meditate and go, okay, I'm consciously going to this reality and quantum jumping. I'm sure you can type in quantum jumping tutorials or what do you call those? Guided meditations on YouTube. But the key is, you got to understand and know everything is energy in this world. So another way, if you want to, create more, everybody's different, right? And this is what I'm trying to get across. I create differently than the way you would create, the way, my wife will create, my kids can create. Everybody creates differently. And if you're the first time listener right now and you're listening to me going, what the heck is this guy talking about? He's nuts. He's talking about making realities. Who does he think he is? But it's true. I am talking about creating our realities. And it all comes down to your belief system. So what you let into your reality, there could be something that you are 1,000% convinced is real until somebody proves otherwise. And then you're like, oh, right? Or you might just ignore it. There's many times I come across people that are in totally different realities than what's real. Here's an example. We hired somebody to work on our porch for us on one of our decks, to build us a deck, a porch deck, place to walk on, barbecue, and he gave me the list. I bought everything and got it delivered there the next day. And, I said, hey, how much would you want to do this? He quoted me a price. I said, cool. Have at her. Faster you get it done. He's like, oh, yeah, no problem, man. I'll get this done in 2 weeks, right? Cool. Get it done in 2 weeks. Get your money. You're laughing, right? And then, he'll show up one day, work maybe an hour or something, leave, show up another day, work a little bit, leave, not show up for a week or two, and show up, And then to the point where I was like, hey, I'm going to offer him to help because he did an amazing job. Don't get me wrong. Amazing worker, amazing guy. But just, I guess just stuff comes up or just doesn't want to work or whatever. And I was like, hey, I know you're working on the part for the roof, like building the roof on the deck, so I can help you. I'll be there to help you. Let me know. I'll come these days. So I'd go help him. And I'd be like, tell me what to do. You're the contractor. You know how to do this. And, it's your vision. And I will just do what you want me to do. Right. So I'd help him out. And stuff like that. And then we would be talking. He's like, if I was you, I'd be pissed how long it takes, joking around, right? How long it takes, if somebody was to build the deck and it took them this long, it's like, it's going on now to like almost, it's fall at this point. The leaves are falling, almost winter. And we got everything delivered, ready to go in the middle of summer. Okay. Anyways. So, he was like, I'd be pissed if I hired somebody and they took this long and they quoted me 2 weeks and then it's going on months and months and blah, 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 right? And I'm like, but I felt like this individual in his reality was, the king of the world, that he could do no wrong. So that if I was to be like, well, yeah, I am very upset that it's taking you so long. You're slow as hell and do the job. Like, I'm here to help you, don't. You got like 3 beautiful weeks left before it gets cold and rainy season and stuff like that. But I knew if I said that, it'll be a big kerfuffle, right? Long story short, in the end, we're like, hey, this is crazy. It's taking you too long. We'll pay you for the work that you've done, that we believe is fair. I still have to hire somebody else to do the other half of the work. So we'll, pay you for what you did. And then I'll hire somebody else in the spring to finish the job. And in that person's reality, oh, yeah, you're so beep, 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 right? Like I'm the bad person because in their reality, they could do no wrong. And I knew that was going to happen. I understood that. But it's just going on way too long. Like I'm not going to wait 5 years for a stupid project that could take a professional, like not even 5 days to do with 2 people. Done and done. Anyway, so it's been on for months. And then, it's the end of the world and all this and all poor me, poor me, poor me. So in the end, this individual that I come into contact with, which a lot of people are these days, oversensitive, right? Think that they are right. No, everybody else is wrong. Everybody's out to get them. And they're playing the victim card. And if you're that person or listening like, oh, I don't blame, I'm not a victim. Well, maybe you are. If you feel like all this negative stuff's happening to you all the time, poor me, poor me, poor me. Well, I'm telling you, you are creating that. You are making it happen because you're focused on it all the time, that you're the victim, poor me, and you're going to find every situation, even if you're not, to be the victim. And you see it all the time. On YouTube or TikTok or whatever, right? On any platform, Facebook, I don't know. And you look at these platforms and you see all these people just being, in normal terms, crazy. But they're just, in their reality, they are the victim. That's what they created. They created that everything's against them. I've been smoking for 60 years, but now I got lung cancer. It's not my fault, right? I've been driving my car without a license, and now it's the cop's fault for pulling me over, and he's the douchebag, blah, 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 right? Or whatever, right? Just, wow. Believe me or not, but you truly create everything in your reality and in your experience by focusing on it, by bringing it into your reality. So therefore, you are stepping into the reality where, yeah, you are the victim. Oh, poor you. Oh, but then nobody wants to hang out with you. Right? If you're the guy or girl or whatever, just sitting there thinking like, am I playing a victim all the time? Think about and pay attention. Try to take a step back when you're talking, because I'm, not bashing anybody, okay? I'm helping people to understand what you're creating. Because I created the same things. When I was younger, I was always confused how I look around. And as a lot of people know that listen to my podcast, is I grew up in religion, in a really religious household and stuff. And I'm not bashing on religion whatsoever. As amazing experience got me to where I am today. Thank you. In a nutshell. But, and all these people were like, poor me and all these emotional experiences. And I was just confused. Like, why are everybody like the victim and poor me and what's going on and all this fun stuff? I forgot to mute my phone. Anyways, and I'm just like, am I broken? Am I, different? Should I have issues? Should I be sick all the time? Because I meet people, and I've seen people growing up that were always like, oh, I got this disease, I'm always sick, I got diagnosed with this today and this and this. And the way they talk about it is they enjoy it. So try and exercise with me. It doesn't matter if you're a negative creator, positive creator, whatever. If you want to see what you are creating, kind of take a step back as if you're watching yourself speak and talking to people when you're interacting in public or when you're typing on social media or whatever, because I hear a lot of people don't go out in public anymore. Oh, it's hilarious. Anyways, I'm lucky to be one of the generations that grew up and got to go out and meet people in person, know how to interact. I digress. Maybe everybody's going to be plugged into the, what's that new thing that's coming out there? The Apple Pro thing where they put on their face and augment reality stuff. I sound really old, but I'm not. But it's hilarious because I think it's really cool technology. But I think people are going to be over addicted to it, just like we are with our devices right now. But anyways, I digress. So take a step back and watch yourself when you're speaking, and you will see how you're creating, because you're like, look what happened to me. Look what I did. Look at this. Look at what's going on in my life. And I understand there's people that are like that. And I just go, and acknowledge and like, yeah, poor you. It sucks. But when I try to tell, I just go by the energy of the universe. If I feel like, hey, I'm going to talk to this person about it. But I did the same thing where I was like, oh, I feel like I should be poor me. Hey, look at me. And when I was younger, I used to exaggerate stories and make up crap to be poor me. But it wasn't me. I didn't like it. And I remember my brother always told me, like, hey, man, you're Mike, you get what you want, you do what you want, blah, 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 right? And I was like, yeah, if I got cut, I'm like, it doesn't matter. I heal really fast. No worries. And I healed really fast. Oh, wow. How does that happen? Right? Oh, because everybody has different DNA. No. Because there's people that can have the exact same cut, the exact same experience, the exact same everything as me. But the only difference is they'll be like, oh, no, I'm going to be bleeding like this forever. And I have this condition that this happens to me and this. So you create it. If you don't have it, you create it. Because there's, stories documented in medical journals. You can look them up if you're bored on how people believed so much that they had whatever diseases and whatever, that they create the symptoms. But there's nothing there. The doctors are like, oh, maybe these people just like the drugs we give them. Let's give them some more drugs. But you know what I mean? It's crazy, but yeah, take a step back and watch yourself and you'll see how you're creating. And I'm trying really hard to create everything positivity and positive and doing the things that I want. So here's an example of something I'm doing, and I'm also going to talk about it because I'm putting it in the universe, because I'm stepping into that reality, and that reality is here. So if you listen to my voice, welcome to my ultimate reality. You made it. But the reality I'm creating for me right now is there's a house that I want to buy. So I'm putting in the universe, right? And this is how I was doing it before, and now this is how I'm going to do it now. But I'm putting it in the universe that, like, I'm going to walk to the reality, I'm going to step into that reality where my stock that I pick, I have 100,000 shares. There's a penny stock, by the way, but every 3 years, okay? Every 3 years, it peaks. And when I bought it back we talked about it many times in my podcast, but when I bought it back in 2019, it was about 20, 30, 40 cents. But then it crashed in 2020 to 5 cents a share. I bought a whole bunch. just 50,000 shares because I was like, oh, I don't know what's going on here. But I should listen to the universe because I was like, buy, buy, buy. Anyways, and I went up to $5. Oh, later that summer. And then went down in the summer, went back up to 3 something, went down. It's a good payday, right? So now I'm buying 100,000 shares. I want it to go up to $20. Well, probably going to go hit 15 because I just felt that in my heart that's going to hit 15 this year. But anyways, and if you're interested, it's on the Toronto Stock Exchange. It's TMD, Titan Medical something. But the thing, if you are a person that plays stocks, it's a penny stock. Right now, today, it's at 8.5 cents. And it's TMD on the Canadian Stock Exchange. Okay. And my mentality, like I talked about in that podcast where the universe is guiding me, is like this stock goes up like 2-3 cents every day or every other day. So one day it's like 8.5 cents, next day it's 10.5 or 9.5. But if you have 100,000 shares and it's like 8 cents, it's only like $6,000. You buy a bunch of shares and it goes up. So if you buy 100,000 shares, for every penny it goes up, you just made $1,000. Right? So my mentality is, if it goes up 1 or 2 pennies, sell it. And when it drops back to, where it's low now, where you think it's going to hit the lowest, back to 8.5 cents, let's say, you buy it again. And you sell it and buy it. But you keep the 100,000 shares in, and you keep out the profits. So then you could potentially make $2,000-3,000 a week. Easy. Just a trick of what I do to make some money on the side. It's a fun thing, and yeah. But I do not, I'm not saying go out, do it, it's guaranteed, blah, blah, blah. Everything has a risk. So just like, gambling, only go with money you're willing to lose. But yeah, I have done it, and I'm doing it, and it's amazing. But anyways, so I'm stepping into that reality where that's going to hit $15 in the next 3 to 4 months. That's my goal. That's the reality I want. So how am I going to achieve that reality? Well, I learned about the water method. So I bought myself some copper cups. And you put water in one of them, and you write on a little sticky note and stick it on there and go, present life. And then the other cup is empty. So one cup has water, the other cup is empty. And then on the empty cup, you put, new life. Or you can put old life, new life, right? Present life. New life that you're moving into the reality you're doing. Because some people are more physical. They need to see something. They can't just be like, oh yeah, I created something in my imagination. They need to be more, visual and stuff and do something like a ritual, right? So this is one you could do. So then you take the water, the empty cup, and you fill it with the energy. So you just hold it close to you, empty, and you put your hands around it and hold it and just put all that positive energy of like, this is what I want. This is the new life that I'm creating right now. And this is the new life that I want to step into, right? There's infinite realities. So this is the one I'm going to walk into, and I'm going to make it happen. Okay? So then you do that. You put the cup down. You fill it with all that energy, positive energy, and all that love and compassion and stuff like that. You take it, the old life, pour the water into the new life. Pick up the cup and put all that energy into positiveness again. And be excited and just like, oh yeah, like this is it. You can feel the energy shift. Then drink the water. And before you know it, you'll be in that new life. And if you don't believe me, and if you don't think it'll work for you, hey, it's all about what you think will work for you. You can do whatever you want. But if you want to try it, think of something small you want to do if you want. Like, how you're going to make $1,000 come into whatever and do whatever. Sure, do it. But you have to believe. Okay? Everything comes down to you. I'm telling you. From the bottom of my heart, from my soul to your soul, I'm shooting all this positive energy. And only the ones that are going to wake up and understand and be like, whoa, where was this my whole life? It's always been there. It's up to you to tap into it. Are we going to allow the world to become what it's trying to become with all this stuff being thrown at us about, oh, look at all this new wars, look at this crap, look at that crap, look at this, blah, 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 right? It's the end of the world, right? Or are you going to create your reality and not allow that to be effective to you? I'm telling you. Join. It's hilarious. Join COVID. Especially in Canada. That's crazy. But join COVID. Or as some people might call it, the plandemic or the pandemic, whichever reality you were in. There's two different realities for that. I'm telling you, there was different realities for that. There's people that were in the pandemic that everything was like, holy crap, look at all this. This is crazy. I'm scared and I'm staying home, blah, blah, blah. Then there's people in the plandemic where they're like, this is all fake, whatever, right? And that's the reality they created. And that's what they have, right? It's all based on the information you receive on what you believe is real and not real. And you feed it and you go with, oh, this is what I'm going to believe. Who cares what side you on? Okay. It's all about the information you receive. I'm not saying any sides are right or wrong. I don't care. It's your own personal whatever. But anyways. And then there's the reality where there's people, just like life is normal, and never got bothered by anything. Didn't focus on any of the negativity in the world. Didn't focus on anything. Okay? For me, when I look back at it, when I was focused and listening to the news and everything, I was like, oh, and I was in Florida when this started. And I was like, what's going on? Like, is this crazy? You know? And like, my traveler's insurance from Canada was like, CA, traveler's insurance was like, we're not going to insure you. You have to come home this time, right? So I called the government of Canada, like the border. I'm like, hey, what happens if I show up at the border, even if it's closed? They said, you're Canadian. We have to let you in no matter what. I was like, cool. They're like, but you got to come home. You're coming home, right? And now all these people are just like freaking out going home. And I'm like, no, I'm not going home. I'm staying here, right? I'm going to stay put. Like, I don't know what's happening. If it's real, I'm not going to travel through all these hot spots and meet all these sick people and get sick. I hate being sick, and regardless. And as we know now, COVID's still a thing. People are still getting sick, but it's not the end of the world. Oh, no. It's just whatever information they feed you. Is if you listen to it, makes it scary, doom and gloom, or not. It's up to you. But if you look at all the facts, it was just another normal year. Besides the lockdowns and all the other stuff. But anyways, I digress. I'm not putting it in beliefs. But it all depends what information you believe is right. And I try to be in the middle. I listen to, there might be some truth to, yeah, I hate being sick. And this is going to be, a lot of people were sick enjoying 2020 and whatever. Because that's everything people were creating is like sick. And people were sick like they've never been sick in their life. And there's people that were just like, yeah, it just lasted like a 24-hour flu. It's all about how you're going to accept it. If you're going to accept that, oh yeah, I'm always sick, I get everything, it's okay, cool. But, needless to say, I was in the States, in Florida, when this all started. And I've seen a lot of, from my reality, misinformation, right? People from Canada were like, oh, Florida's flooded, there's people everywhere, like spring break. But I'll be honest, in 2020, March, there was nobody there except the locals chilling in Florida. And, everybody stayed away from each other for like 2 to 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. After that, people were like, yeah, we quarantined, we're not sick. Meh, just whatever, right? And then there's other people that like went home or just stayed locked and I've never seen them at the resorts. But, it's whatever information you receive, whatever you want to believe is your reality. So, whatever, right? So, anyways. So then you take that cup and you drink it, and then you walk into that reality. So I encourage you to try that and see what it's like and see if it works for you. But there's always different realities out there. Which one are you going to live in? And people are like, right now, people are probably screaming at me, oh yeah, whatever about whatever, right? But it's all based on what you perceive is real. There's nothing I could tell you otherwise, right? When I was in religion and people were telling me, hey, your religion's fake, it's stupid, it's crazy, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, nope, I stand by, blah, blah, blah. And now that I left my religion for, it doesn't matter what reasons, it's not going to change anything for anybody else. But I left it and people are like, oh, so now you don't believe in that stuff? You think it's not real, huh? Everything was a lie? I'm like, it served its purpose. I look at my life journey as a journey of where and what I want to do in my world. and experiences that I want to have. Now that I'm waking up, as they say, and I'm understanding things, and I understand that whatever I focus on becomes, in my reality, then I focus on the positive. I don't give a crap about the negativity out there. People are like, oh, you're ignorant. No, it's not. Just like in COVID, everybody was like, the end of the world. And all these people were like, I'm staying home. I hate everybody. Everybody should die. Right? And I was just like, whatever. I need, people still need truck drivers and deliveries and stuff. So I'm out there and I'm working and doing whatever I need to do. And there was, it was funny, right? There's people that are like, oh, can you bring that in the house for me? It's really heavy now. It's like, hey, just letting you know, flu season. But they're like, yeah, whatever. And there's other people that are like, just leave it at the end of the driveway in the 10 feet of snow. I'll dig it out later. I'm going to let it stay there for 24 hours to make sure I don't get COVID from you. Different realities, right? It's the information that you are focused on. I can't reiterate this enough. Everything comes down to you and what you believe is real, and that is real. There's nothing nobody can tell you otherwise, right? Just like, there's people fighting that, the earth is round. There's people fighting the earth is flat. And there's people fighting that, NASA's never been to space, and here's all the proof, and there's blah, 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 right? I'm sure there's realities where they have, and I'm sure there's realities where they haven't. Because, as they say, there's infinite possibilities. I know I might sound crazy, but in Canada and maybe the US, it's called Adult Swim. And it plays like TV shows and a lot of cartoons. But there's a cartoon called Rick and Morty. The first season explains it very well. About a drunk grandpa and his grandson. The drunk grandpa created, traveling from all the different dimensions and realities and different everything. Like he can go to, this reality sucks. I'm going to go to this reality where it's better. Oh, this reality, and he goes, there's everything and anything you could think of is a reality out there, and you can go to it. It's just, are you going to go to it or not? Right? So in our reality, what are we going to create next? Because we're all creators. So all the people out there that are creating negativity, they're creating it. And all the people creating positivity are creating it. Now, are we going to, as some people say right now, there's a spiritual shift, right? Where we're going to live in the same world, but in different dimensions, right? Where all the people want doom and gloom and the end of the world and all this stuff to happen. They're going to be in their dimension, and we're going to be in our happy-go-lucky puppies and rainbows, Hakuna Matata dimension. Who knows? But who cares? Live your best life. We are all here for experiences. We are all here for experiences. You're going to make the best of it. You're going to make just whatever, right? You're going to go on a trip with me to Florida. Let's go to Florida. I'll take somebody to Florida, right? If I'm taking somebody to Florida with me, are you going to have the best trip of your life? Or is everything, I'm stuck in this truck for, X amount of time? Or, hey, when I take people up to the Arctic, driving on the ice roads and stuff with me, there's two different types of people. The ones that are like, wow, this is an amazing experience. I love this. Like, this is beautiful. They're taking pictures and just enjoying life. And there's the other types that are like, hey, are we almost there at the hotel, where we can relax? How come there's no Wi-Fi or internet or cell phone reception here, right? I need to know what's going on in the world, right? Or there's people that would be like, I'm just hipping in this truck, and I'm only doing this because I need the money, and I don't care about the experience, right? Then they're going to have a horrible experience. Do you understand? You probably see all the different types of people that are living in this world, but having totally different experiences because it's all based on what you're creating. We could all be at the exact same seminar in the exact same place, learning the exact same thing. And there'll be some people like, oh, wow, this is amazing. Yeah, right? So let's pretend with me, everybody. You're live at Life Changers with Mike, and we're doing a live. And there's like 500 people or 1,000 people or whatever. And we're doing a motivational thing. As a collective, it's easier to be like feeling the energy in the room and be like, wow, this is an amazing experience, right? But it's harder when you're listening to on your device right now, or in your car, or wherever you are, all by yourself, and it's harder to feel that energy. But yet you can if you tap into it. But let's say I'm doing a big live event, and most people feel the energy and just be like, this is amazing, I love it, and taking it to heart. There'll be some people that are like, I'm only here because I'm a skeptic and this guy's crazy, and I'm going to make sure he knows, right? And I understand. Sorry. I understand, because when I was in religion, I was like, I wanted people to have everything I have. I want them to know the truth, because this is the truth, and this is the only truth. And I was going around telling everybody how everybody's wrong, but we're right, come with us, blah, 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 right? But in reality, when it comes down to it, sorry, I'm going to need some water here. Just give me one sec. Remember, I don't do no cuts. But in reality, when it comes down to it, if you think about it, like honestly, just clear your mind. And everybody says, like even when I was in religion, deep into religion, I was like, I'm open-minded. I listen to everybody. But every time somebody said something I didn't like, I was like, no, you're wrong. Get away from me. Right? I just shut down. Like I might not freak out at them. I was listening to them and be like, oh, yeah, yeah. And in my head, I'd be like, these people are wrong. They're crazy. Right? But in the end, if you actually think about it, and just take everybody's ego out of the equation, okay? Everybody's right. Think about it. Everybody believes they are 100% right about everything in their reality. It's hard for people to admit, oh no, yeah, I don't know that. I'm wrong. Even me, like when I was younger and even a young adult there, I was like, people would be like, hey, do you know this? And I'm like, yeah, I know this. Why, you think I'm stupid? Right in my head. I'm like, yeah, I know this. Meanwhile, I'm like, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. I'm sure we all done that where somebody's like, hey, do you know what's going on in this whatever? And you're like, yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, that thing going on over there at the work there. And yeah. Well, how have you heard about it? Tell me what you heard. Right? And meanwhile, you're like, what the hell? Think about it. Everybody believes they are right in their reality. And if everybody else's reality is looking outside themselves, looking at everybody else going, well, I'm right, so therefore they're all wrong if they don't believe what I believe. This is the reality we live in. Think about it. Everybody believes they're right. Everybody's looking at everybody else going, you're wrong if you don't believe what I believe. And if you believe what I believe, come into my circle. We are friends now. We believe the same thing. But I consider myself like, as they say, Switzerland, right? I try to understand people's both sides, as there's sides. But there is no sides. Everybody's freaking nuts in their own way. Even I'm nuts in my own way. I'm sure there's people listening right now. Yeah, this guy's crazy. Talking about interdimensional travel and creating things and drinking water and making millions of dollars. Oh, this guy's nuts. Hey, cool. Thanks. Because it works for me. And I just sharing my experiences. It's up to you to decide if what's going to work for you and do something like make up a ritual or something that works for you. It's all whatever, right? And like I said at the beginning, everything you've been taught is a lie. Only what you believe is real, but it's true. It's only true if you accept the truth as truth. If you accept it as non-truth, then it's not true. But if you accept, just like we both can be sitting in a room and I say, this bottle of water that I'm drinking is the best water in the universe. And then somebody's like, no, that brand is not good because there's all this toxins in it and blah, blah, blah. This water is better, right? Doesn't matter if you... But that's the way we are programmed in this ultimate reality that we live in. Listen to my words very carefully. We are all programmed to believe everything that we believe. The first thing for me to do to achieve what and unprogram myself, because if you're not a long-time listener, you do not know that in the end, in a nutshell, I was programmed to be poor and stay poor. What are you talking about, Mike? You're a computer? You're an Android? Are you an NPC, Mike? Maybe. But growing up, in a nutshell, My dad would always say, we can't afford this. We're poor. Poor stay poor. No matter how hard you work, the rich get rich, the poor get rich. Right now, there's a shift right now. There's a money shift where everybody's being like, the elites are raising the prices so we can't afford things, so we stay poor. Yeah, it's artificial inflation. It probably is. Because having people doing what they want and having all the money that they want is not good for them if they want if they want to rule the world. Right? If that's the reality you're living in. Right? The government's trying to keep me poor because they want me to stay in Canada. Yeah. Believe it or not, in Canada, it's up to you if you believe it or not, but there's a lot of, what is it called? I was going to say propaganda, but like a lot of stuff are censored. Even my own Facebook groups for my companies that I own, I cannot post certain things. Like, as you know, I own a firework business, and I cannot post on Facebook or Google or even pay to advertise on those platforms anymore. And if I post something, right away Facebook is like, no, this is offensive, right? And I'm just posting, fireworks. That's my business. I'm trying to sell fireworks. Or gender reveal. People find it offensive. As soon as I post it, it's gone, taken down. Somebody finds it offensive. But yet I could find like naked people on Facebook. But I can't post about what my own business is. And I have a group called, it's a firework group. Sorry, we deem it as offensive, so we're taking it off. So what reality are you in? Where there's no freedom of speech anymore in Canada and most of the U.S. and so on, right? People are afraid to speak their minds because they're afraid whatever might happen. I can't post certain things online or just about, hey, you're having a baby? You want to have a gender reveal party? I understand if there's people that don't, but hey, you want to have a gender reveal party? You can buy smoke grenades. You can buy, or smoke effects. You can't use the word grenades. It's offensive. It's dangerous. But anyways, which reality do you choose, right? Do you choose and to be, this is all happening to me because there's nothing I can do, nothing I can do, nothing I can do. But I'm telling you, there's things you can do. The first step that I did to break the habit of being myself was reading the book by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And I'm not paid by their people at all. Okay? But that book called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself is amazing by Dr. Joe Dispenza. You can get it on Audible, probably bookstores, whatever, online, Amazon, wherever you want. I get it on Audible. But I'm telling you, I listen to that book a ton of times when I'm on the road driving in the middle of nowhere because there's nothing else to do, just driving. So I listen to all these amazing books. But that book was like, you can choose to believe everything you're told. Believe that you're going to be poor and stay poor. Believe that you're always sick and stay sick. Believe. Or you're going to create your own belief system and break down your old. It might be hard. As the saying goes, I didn't say it'll be easy, but it'll be worthwhile. So which one are you going to do? Is it going to be easy? Or is it going to be really hard and difficult and you're going to stay wherever you are and just blame the world? There's nothing I could do. I'm going to be poor for the rest of my life. I'm never going to find the love of my life because I'm ugly or whatever you think you are. Every reality already exists. Every possibility. There's a possibility of you finding true love. Just step into that reality. There's a possibility of you being a millionaire. Step into that reality. The only person that's stopping you is you. Believe it or not, the only one that is stopping you is you. And I'm not saying it's easy and I know everything, but I realize and understand in my reality and things that I choose, as I always say, puppies and rainbows, right? Or that song in Lion King, Hakuna Matata, right? It's such a wonderful phrase. It means no worries for the rest of your days. It's a problem-free velocity, Hakuna Matata, right? I know I shouldn't sing, but but I do. But yeah, That's what I want to live in. And if you think I'm ignorant for living in that reality, that's cool. I accept everybody's reality and everybody's beliefs. And everybody should accept everybody else's. Nobody should be forcing anybody to accept whatever reality they are in. I'm not forcing you to listen to my podcast. I'm not forcing you to listen and telling you this is the right way, the only way. I'm clearly just telling you my experiences, and this is what's working for me. And I hope it helps people. And I hope it helps people figure out that, wow, yeah, I can create my own reality, break the matrix, as they say, or leave the Truman Show and stuff like that, right? It's totally up to you. Why is one of the more successful, categories that make a ton of money is motivational stuff, or, this is how I got rich, right? Is because everybody believes that they can do it. But it's hard when you self-sabotage yourself. Mike, you saying I self-sabotage myself? I don't want to make millions. It's not that at all. But it's hard because we've been programmed to believe everything we believe. And I'm not saying we're being programmed by the elites or by the government. Oh, no, right? We've been programmed by family. For my case, my dad always said how poor we were and we're always going to be poor. And no matter how much money you make, you'll never keep it because it's designed for the rich to stay rich and the poor to stay poor. Right? But when I came to realize, no, I can make as much as I want, do whatever I want, that's not real, then I shifted. But you got to keep that shift and keep that mindset. Nobody's holding you back but yourself. Well, no, my boss at my current job is not, he's a dumbass and he doesn't want me to be, his boss, and he knows he's going to get fired because I do a better job, so he makes me look bad. Okay. So why are you in that reality? Why do you stay at that job? Well, in this economy, I hate when people say there's no work out there. I know I mentioned this many times. I see all the time, looking to hire. And all these companies are looking for automation because nobody wants to do the work. Well, I don't want to do that. I had a friend of mine, a best friend. He's like, and even family and all that stuff, right? They just finished school and they're like, I believe I should be making $50 an hour, but nobody's going to give me that. Why is that? I got my degree. Yeah, but you got no experience. I'm sorry to say, everybody has to enter at quote unquote entry-level jobs. Unless you are one of those people that create your realities and say, no. This is what I got and this is what I'm going to get, and boom. Because there's been many times where my buddy's like, I need work. And I'm like, there's all these work here. Look, you can go work at McDonald's, you can go do this, you can do that, right? He's like, oh, I'm better than that. I can't work. You know how many times, and think about it, how many times when you're like, I need a job, and you're desperate for a job, and you can never find a job, and you finally accept a job that's beneath you. And then you get all these job offers shortly after going, hey, we're looking to hire you. And you're like, where have these people been? It's law of attraction 101. You are chasing. When you're chasing something, it's running away from you. So if you're chasing a job and you're putting in the universe lack thereof, therefore you're getting return lack thereof. You should be putting in the universe abundant, and I have a job and everything's perfect, and you'll get a lot of offers. It sounds too good to be true, Mike. It sounds too good to be true. So therefore, Mike, you're full of it. It's up to you. Once again, it's all about you, your reality, your belief system, what you choose to believe, what you choose to understand, what you choose to live by. There's nothing nobody else can tell you, but you might get glimpses and get a little feeling in your heart or in your soul or in your universal self or your gut, right? Where you're like, there's something here. What do I feel? I heard about this, right? Are you going to explore it or let it fade away? Are you going to choose to live your ultimate reality like I choose to shift into my reality where my stock's going to hit $15 and I got to have 100,000 shares of it, and that's all there is to it, and I'm not going to have no lack, no there, and I'm going to talk about it and put it in the universe because that's the reality I'm in? I'm done living in the reality of, poor me, end of the world, all this stuff happening and there's nothing I can do about it. Live your best life now. Who cares about the past? Who cares about the future? Live in the present. If you want to achieve your ultimate higher self and your ultimate self, live now. Be happy in every moment and every experience you have and be like, this is an amazing day. Today I'm having a good experience. Look out these stars out there. Look at the beautiful sunrise or the sunset, or look, I'm at the ocean right now, or wherever you're listening to me. Enjoy it. Embrace it, because these are the experiences that you are setting up for yourself. Now, when you realize that and you have the cheat codes and you can start creating whatever reality you want, you'll never, ever take for granted a day again and just enjoy life. I cannot tell you enough how I've made and lost tons of money because I lived as, well, I'm going to make all this money and be rich, but I don't deserve it in my heart because my dad told me I'm going to be poor and stay poor. But I didn't think of it like that. But until I understood that, the energy I was putting in the world is, I cannot have abundance because I'm not allowed. Or I cannot have love because I was told my whole life that I don't deserve love, or I don't, I'm too stupid to get love, and I'm a hater and you'll never find love. And people told you that over and over and over, so you started believing it. Subconsciously, it's true. That's how we work in this world. So I encourage you, if you want to change your life around and live in abundance, live with the most happiest life you could ever live, be with a significant other that makes you so happy, that you love so much, and that life is just amazing, decide now. And fill your life. Instead of flipping through, I call it dead scrolling on Facebook or on whatever device you're dead scrolling on, TikTok or YouTube Shorts or YouTube, look for things that matter. Because if you're filling your life full of like doom and gloom or murder mysteries and, oh, the world is crazy and, oh, watch out, this guy might murder you, this guy might do this to you, or this person might do that to you, this person is going to rob you, this person is going to do... Well, if you think like that right now, you're like, hey, that's exactly how I see the world. It's probably because you're listening to a lot of murder mysteries or you're watching too much news. It's all about that doom and gloom crap. It's up to you. Fill your life with what you want. Because as they say, and even me growing up in religion, they used to tell me, it all starts with a thought. Then the thought becomes more than a thought. Then it becomes like an action. Then it becomes reality. And in my terms, they were talking about negativity. It all becomes with a thought of thinking about porno, right? And then it becomes eventually, you're dreaming about, now you want to go look for porno, right? And then you can do this and do that, right? Oh, no, right? But if that's true, if you believe that, if you believe everything starts with a thought, and then eventually the thought will turn into an action, and the action will turn into more and more and more, and you think of it as a negative way, then how come it's not the same way in a positive way, where I choose to be, I want, $2 million, $1.5 million. So I'm going to create it. And it starts with a thought. And then before you know it, there'll be opportunities, things will open up, and you'll do something, and you'll just boom, boom, boom. And before you know it, you look back and be like, oh, wow, I did that. Or you're just going to think it's just luck. Like everybody that sees me when I'm at a casino or when I'm doing stocks, and people are like, you're just lucky. You got a horseshoe up your butt, don't you? Yeah, when you were a kid, you got kicked in the butt by a horse and his shoe is still there. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I got a horseshoe in my butt. That's why I'm successful. It's not because I choose to be successful, and I choose to surround myself with success and successful people and abundance. And that's what I'm going to create. I'm creating abundance, success, love, compassion. I'm not creating hate. I'm not creating, less or nothing. I want everybody to be rich and everybody to be loved, and everybody knows that you are loved. And I'm not pushing anything else. I'm just pushing that you are whoever you want to be. If you're not happy in your situation, be whatever you want. Achieve what you want. Shift into the reality where you have everything you want. Don't blame everything around you. It's my situation. It's this, it's that. Then you'll always be there. How many times have you get that motivation, you start doing something, and then you just go back to where you were? I see nothing I can do. It might be hard. But when you figure it out, I'm telling you, read that book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And then another one that will totally flip your mind by Michael A. Singer. Okay, Singer, like the singer. Michael A. Singer. The Surrender Experiment. Stop controlling everything. Just let the universe do it. You created your reality. Just live it. Enjoy it. Be happy. Be the NPC you're meant to be. No, but yeah. So listen to motivational stuff. Listen to people, like, whatever motivates you to be successful and to be motivated. Listen to those I ams. If you're not sure what I ams are, it's a thing where you program yourself to be like, I am successful. I am abundant. I am loved. Whatever, right? Listen to those. I'm going to make one eventually, and we're going to post it. So I just want to say how important everybody is. Even if you think you're an NPC, you're still important. It's up to you what life and reality you want to live. But just know that you are loved. Okay? That you could do anything you want to do. Stop limiting yourself. Stop allowing people to control you and control your own world and your own life. And choose your reality. Choose what you want to believe. It's all up to you. You're going to be doom and gloom or puppies and rainbows? I'm doing the puppies and rainbows. Hope to see you there. Once again, this is Mike with Life Changers. Thank you very much. You guys have an amazing week.